Hello, I hope you're well. I haven't done a video on this channel for a long time. I had to go through some more difficulties, so I had to give it up for a while, and I've been getting my other channel going, Sarah and the Shadow Men. If you love paranormal stuff, check that channel out. But something happened to me today, and it reminded me of something that's been a problem for me for a very long time, and maybe for a lot of you out there, especially if you're on a journey of self-discovery and trying to get more assertive in your life, overcome challenges, obstacles, and feeling like you're just not good enough, or that you don't have any merit in the world. Could be down to things that have happened to you, past trauma, childhood trauma, narcissistic parents, whatever it is. I want to help you. I also want you to realize that it's not, when I talk of things a certain way, it's meant for all genders and however you identify yourself. But I will talk about my experience, so as a girl, but it's meant for, it can happen to anyone. And today I wanted to talk about claiming your own space. If you're new at the channel, please, these videos are to tell you about my experience, being feeling like I've never been good enough because of past trauma and things like that. And I want to help you out there, if I can inspire you to push forward like me. I'm on this journey with you. I have not accomplished it yet, so we're learning together. Okay, and yeah, I will put comments on when I feel confident enough to, but please like, share, subscribe, okay, and give this video a like if it's helped you or it resonates with you, so I can help more people and help the channel grow. Okay, so today, as I say, I'm going to talk about claiming your own space. I'm 52. And I still feel like this. I realised last night, it's something that I realise off and on, but sometimes it's stronger than others, that I have never felt good enough. And no matter what I do, I'm never going to feel good enough unless I change my perception of me. I keep thinking the trouble is outside myself, and why is the universe not helping me? I ask for this, law of attraction doesn't work on certain things. It's been since my divorce. I keep thinking it's taken you 7 years and you're still not recovered from your divorce. And I don't just mean mentally, I mean financially, everything. And then I realise I keep going back through my marriage and, what had happened to me and why I'm in the state I'm in, and why I perceive my ex-husband as getting it all. So, which is a bitter pill to swallow. Anyway, so it's led to a lot of rage, and they tell you to be grateful for the what you have, but sometimes you're very angry and bitter, and I don't want to play victim. I've never wanted to play victim. I perceive that as a waste of time. I've always been strong, but for some reason there's a part of me that does and wants revenge, if you like. So, and the revenge would come in the form of my success, but it's just not fully coming yet. It comes in drips and drabs, and I feel like the universe is breadcrumbing me, and it makes me feel like other people are more important and more worthy. And this little exercise that went on today made me think about how I was brought up, and it has happened to girls more. I'm not saying it doesn't happen to men, and however you identify, but this happened to me. It was the time I was brought up in. I was born in 1970, so I was growing up. I became aware, obviously, late 70s, and then into the 80s. I was growing up, and I was brought up by a narcissistic parent, and a parent who just allowed that to happen, quite frankly, and wasn't there very much. And kept away under the guise of having to work and do hard work. So we'll just say that. But basically, I've always felt like my mother made me feel like I was a nuisance, quite frankly, and in the way. and allowed my brother to express his anger and to get his needs met. Now, you know, I can't speak for his experience. Things may have happened to him that, you know, I don't know about. But anyway, this is mine. And I was taught to accommodate people. Always put somebody above myself. It didn't matter who it was. They were more important than me, especially if they were older. And I was to, you know, I learned to put a smile on my face and to just get through it, and you know, squashed my anger, my frustration down. I wasn't allowed to express it. I was not given space to express how I felt and how my anger. If I dared to question my mother, I was stopped from speaking to people, you know, and the whole house stopped speaking to me, and this went on for days. And I had to basically crawl to my mother, ask for forgiveness, and then everybody would start speaking to me again. So it was a horrible experience, and one they deny to this day, but we're not going to go through that. But it did happen to me. I've never forgotten it. So I learned to put a smile on my face, like a lot of us do in all different scenarios. And so, but it became that I did not have the space in my head to express myself because I squashed it down so much. My mother thought she was creating, and you know, no judgment here, because I don't know what her experience was. You know, I adored my grandmother and everything. I still do, and she's not with us anymore. But and my grandfather, and I don't know. You know, it comes from way down the line. Yeah, so no judgment. I've given up with that. So I had, what my mother was actually creating was a little girl who strove for perfection and approval, because that's what I had to do to survive in a bit of a hostile environment. I was cared for, I was looked after, I didn't want for anything. For that, I'm grateful. But there was all this going on as well. And I didn't get space in my head to express my anger, my frustration at things. I had to keep the smile, and everybody else was right and I was wrong. So that's frustrating. And what she actually created in the end was somebody who was akin to, if you watch the Hulk in the late 1970s, 80s, The Incredible Hulk with Bill Bixby, you know, mild-mannered Bill Bixby, Bruce, was it David Banner or Bruce Banner? I can't remember now. You know, the Incredible Hulk's alter ego, and the Incredible Hulk. And there's a green monster that I shoved down inside me and locked away. And unfortunately, it comes out later in life. The more you squash your anger, the more it will pop out, and it will come out to be dealt with. And it'll cause all sorts of ructions. So it can cause health. The more you squash anger, the more. I ended up with a thing that they're still trying to work out what it is. Functional neurological disorder. And that comes from I became an anxious person, very angry, frustrated, and it was all internalized, and it made me ill. I now fit, shake, do all sorts of things. And so yeah, it's about having space in your head. Everything's about, in my life, I've realized it's about being compulsive. I have obsessive compulsive disorder. That was another thing. And it's about, I'm striving for perfection. I watch everything I eat, what I do, and if I don't do it the way I think I should, or I'm not being that perfect little girl, then I get very stressed and I don't sleep at night. It's that bad at the moment. And all of those things, just because I do not allow space for myself to be who I really am. And this little thing that happened to me this morning, brought it home to me that I was still feeling this way. Everything was, I had to be fast at doing things, and if I was taking too much time, I was being a nuisance. And you're keeping people waiting. It was like that. It's hostility all the time. And it was almost like everybody else was better than me. And I had to shut up and do as I was told. And the more I think about it, the more I'm talking to you, it's just unbelievable. But that's how I felt. Anyway, so I'm out for coffee. I get my table. I get my cup of coffee. I sit down. It's a very difficult thing for me to do. I'm a very anxious person now. I go out and I don't go out when I go out, it's not very often. And I went this morning, I thought, you need to get out more. Because you've got to tackle these things head on. You can't just sit in the house. You've got to face it. So I went to the coffee place. I get my coffee, get my table. I get sorted out. Now, this often happens. I get this sudden, maybe you should go, maybe you should go. No. I get into my work, or I read a book, whatever I'm doing. I was quite happy. And then I decided I'd like another drink. So I left my coat there, and it was clearly my table. And it had been very busy, and a lot of the tables were, had people around them. And then when I'm standing, I'd ordered my, I almost thought apple and cinnamon, actually, it was lovely. Anyway, so I'm standing waiting for it to be made in the queue like everybody else. And I see this older gentleman come in, very imperious looking, and walk down through our little group, and he was with a younger man. And he couldn't find a seat, and he had this younger man going up and down the whole room looking for a seat. And I saw him looking around, then I saw him look at my table. And when he studied it for a bit longer than I thought he should have. And it made me feel, oh my God, I should go. I should let him have the table. I've been taking too long. I'm 52. When these patterns get in, they get in and they stick if you don't deal with them. And yeah, because it was reinforced by my ex-husband in the end, because I ended up going for what I knew in a marriage that was going to deliver what I'd been used to. So I went and, I'm losing my train of thought now because I'm so horrified that this happened in my head. And I thought, you need to go, you've been too long. And I could feel it was almost like he was cross, and it was like, all these thoughts came into my head. Oh, he must think, oh, what's she doing, nabbing that table, and she's not even there. And, taking to it, I could have that table. And then I automatically start getting these feelings, I should go. I just ordered my drink, and I was waiting for, just leave it, go, just go. You've been here too long. Everybody had been there for ages. And it was my space, my table. And it was almost like I had to give it up for this stranger who I didn't even know. I mean, I don't know his thoughts. He might have even been thinking like that, but it was the way he looked. I mean, we pick up things when we watch people look a certain way. And if you watch my other channel, I am empathetic. So whether I picked something up, I don't know. But I just felt like I was a nuisance again. I wasn't accommodating people. This person was older. They deserved the table more than me. And it horrified me. And it wasn't long, it eventually cleared and he disappeared. I don't know where he went. And I went back and I made myself stay longer because that was my space. And I had, I'd had breakfast there, everything, and I had paid for that space. It was mine. And I deserved to be there just as much as him and everybody else in that room. And I don't know if you believe in spiritual guides, but I do. And my guide has always said to me, own your place. You have as much right, because I do it on the pavement as well. I tend to move for people all the time rather than letting them move for me sometimes, as if they have more right to be there than me. And my guide has often whispered in my ear, you have the right to be here just as much as them. Own your place. So that's what I'm asking you to do today. Own your place. Think about where you have been squashed out and you accommodate people too much, and start thinking about your needs. Remember, you can't help anybody else and be there for anybody else until you have healthy boundaries. And as they say, you know, when you're on an aircraft, if you before you're helping anybody else, when the oxygen masks come on first, you put yours on first. And that's what I'm asking you to do today. Think about you just for one moment. What have you been squashing down? What have you not left space for in your head that needs to have space? Okay? And, you know, just think about you just for today. Okay? Take care of yourselves, and I shall see you next time. Please like, share and subscribe, and we'll continue this journey. I will be doing regular updates now, so please join me, and check out my paranormal channel as well if you're into that. I'm a psychic medium, so I come up with a lot of things on there that might interest you. If not, please continue to watch the videos on here, and take care of yourselves. Till next time, bye.